What's up, guys? It's Draffle, and today, I know it's been a pretty freaking long time since I made a video. Just been living life, but anyways, today we've got the Elemental Mage deck. So I'm just gonna go ahead and construct it for you guys. This deck is really awesome, especially for beginner players who aren't keen on paying a lot of money, or even for veteran players who still like to play this as free to play. This is probably the best mage deck I've come across. I'm not very that experienced in this game yet, but I've dumped a lot of hours into it recently. I just started it up, and I've been getting really into guides and stuff, and this is definitely the deck that I've had the most success with, both in regular play and in ranked. In just one day, I got from 25 to 19 very easily. Only lost a few matches. One of them was due to my game just randomly disconnecting and freezing. So, anyways, I really recommend this deck. It's an awesome deck and very fun to just completely control the board at all times. So first, I'm going to start out with Arcane Missiles. Just go ahead and put 2 of those in there. And then you're going to want 2 Mana Worms. And then just 1 Mirror Image. And 2 Flame Geysers. And 2 Frost Bolts. And I'm not seeing. And then 2 Shimmering Tempests. We're also going to want 2 Arcane Intellects. 2 Sorcerer's Apprentice. Where did the Glacial Shard go? You're going to want 1 Glacial Shard. And, where are we? And then 1 Igneous Elemental. Oh, I'm in the neutral deck. Alright, 1 Igneous. Or no, 2 Igneous Elementals. And then 2 Thunder Lizards. As well as 2 Fire Plume Phoenixes. 2 Fireballs. 2 Steam Surgers. 2 Water Elementals. And lastly but not least, 2 Servants of Kalimos. So that's the deck. Now I'm going to tell you the strengths of this deck. In low level play, there aren't too many weaknesses. I'm not very familiar with high level play, but I do know that if someone does have a really good quest rogue to them, like they know what they're doing, quest rogue can really destroy this deck, at least in my experience. Also, I believe I went against a quest priest who did very well against me, but in the end it was neck and neck. He only beat me, by luck of the draw, and so that's about it for that. The strengths of this deck: you can really play cards off of your previous hand. It's all about card management. So in your first turn, in the beginning of the match, I would recommend trying to get at least, this is pretty standard, trying to get one of these 1 cost cards in there. I like to have a Mana Worm or a Glacial Shard just to get something down on the board. And if you can get a 2 cost in the beginning, I like to have either Shimmering Tempest. Flame Geyser and Frostbolt are really nice for if you don't get an actual card to put down on the board, but because you can just use these to try and have as much control of the board as you can. But it's really imperative that if you really want to get your game going strong and early, you can beat people by turn 6 if you get the right cards. It's insane. I've beaten people on turn 6. But if you really want to get this going, I would recommend trying to play an elemental early on if you have a Thunder Lizard, because adapting a Thunder Lizard can be really nice in early game. And as you can see, this is a very low cost deck. You rule the early game. And if you can rule the early game, you'll pretty much rule the late game, because if you can do this where you play an elemental in the last turn, you can discover one, and you can get really good elementals like Pyros and the wind elemental that can attack twice. I can never remember his name. But you can get really nice elementals, but you can also pick up more Servants of Kalimos and any elemental. It just depends on how the game is going. But this deck is really nice for controlling the early game. You've got a Fireplume Phoenix to deal 2 damage, which can clear out an enemy off the board. But an example would be first turn throwing out one of these 1 costs, second turn throwing out a Shimmering Tempest, third turn a Thunder Lizard, fourth turn a Phoenix, or on your third turn, if you had the coin, you could play a Lizard, and if you somehow have 1 cost elemental, like a Glacial Shard or one from Flame Geyser, just depending on how your game is going, what cards you've already played. It's really nice to just always be having elementals played like every turn, because if you draw one of these cards that has a battle cry for last turn being an elemental played, it's really nice. I always try and play an elemental every turn because you can get so many. You have 2 elementals right here because of the 1 added to your hand. You've got 1 right here, so that's 3. You've got, well, actually no, that's 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, plus the 2 from if you get Flame Geyser. So that's 17 plus the 2 from discovering this, so that's 19. You have 19 elementals total if you can play your hands right. It is insane, especially with the Shimmering Tempest. Sometimes you get some really nice mage spells. I love when I get a Blizzard or anything just high cost like that, because this deck doesn't have any high cost cards, which could be its weakness if you can't get any good draws from this. But you should be able to whittle them down in the beginning of the game, especially if you can get a Mana Worm out there early on, being protected by the mirror image that you cast after you summon this, because that'll give it 2 and 3. And if you can get the Sorcerer's Apprentice out there, you can easily get this guy's attack up there very quickly because of all these low cost spells. I've won matches solely using a Mana Worm. I would throw other things out there, and for whatever reason, my Mana Worm stayed alive, mostly because he couldn't get anything out there, because I would just kill it immediately with either a Fireplume Phoenix or a Flame Geyser, or Fireball, or Frostbolt, or whatever. This deck is just awesome. As soon as they get something out there, you have a very high ability to just take it out immediately with spells or a battle cry, and continue to attack with the cards that you already have on the field. It's a very nice deck. I really recommend this to newer players or players who are free to play. I love it. I've had the most success with that than I have with any other deck. I've gone through multiple decks, but anyways, I probably will have left an annotation at the beginning of this video for if you don't feel like building it with me and you just want to use Innkeeper So I'll leave a link to the Hearthpwn page for you to copy that in Keeper. And in the future, I'm gonna make a video of me actually playing this deck to the fullest of its ability. I'll make sure to record one of my good games where I don't make many mistakes. Hopefully, not at all. So yeah. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like. I'm hoping to get some good things going on. Anyways, that's about it, guys. Peace out.